Hi, welcome to 7 Facts, the channel that's aimed to exploring every single nation on this planet. Right now you are watching the American series, and today we'll get to discover North Carolina. But before we begin, I would ask you to subscribe to my channel. There's a library of hundreds of videos already uploaded, in addition to the 2 brand new videos that I upload every single week on Wednesday and Saturday. North Carolina was one of the original 13 British colonies that created the United States of America. They were the first to instruct its delegates to the Continental Congress to vote for independence from the British Crown. The state was the scene of fierce fightings, not just between British soldiers and Americans, but between pro-independence and pro-British colonists. Obviously, the revolutionaries won the fight, and on November 21, 1789, North Carolina became the 12th state to join the Union. Less than 72 years later, due to the fact that it was a slave state, North Carolina was also the 10th state to secede from that same union. One of the most mysterious cases of mass disappearance in history took place in North Carolina. For centuries, historians have been captivated by the lost English colony of Roanoke Island. In 1587, the colony was established by the English gentleman Sir Walter Raleigh and was settled by a group of 117 men, women and children. After 3 months, the colony's governor, John White, made the trip back to England for supplies. Due to the country's war with Spain, Britain was short on ships and White's return was delayed. When he came back to Roanoke Island 3 years later, he found that its inhabitants had mysteriously disappeared. The only trace he found of the colonists were the word crow etched into a tree and croatan carved into a fence post. To this day, there is no conclusive evidence as to what happened to the colonists. Roanoke was situated on an island in the Outer Banks, a string of barrier islands off the coast of North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. The Outer Banks are famous, creepy and feared for their own reason. The treacherous seas of the Outer Banks and the large number of shipwrecks that have occurred there have given these seas the nickname Graveyard of the Atlantic. According to official records, more than 1,000 vessels have met their watery graves here since 1526. The same Outer Banks are famous for one more thing. The first ever airplane took to the skies from here. The Wright Brothers tested various prototypes of a flying machine at Kill Devil Hills near the town of Kitty Hawk. The remote location provided them with privacy, soft ground and steady winds, perfect for the 2 brothers' experiment. On December 17, 1903, the siblings finally achieved their dream of building a heavier-than-air flying machine with their Wright Flyer. Their flying machine was the first practical fixed-winged aircraft, and their invention sparked the birth of an entirely new industry, and thanks to them, our world and the way we think of travel had changed forever. In 1893, one of the world's most famous soft drinks was born in New Bern, North Carolina. A drugstore clerk named Caleb Bredham invented a drink which he originally called Brad's Drink. The former doctor in training believed his syrupy concoction aided digestion and renamed the drink Pepsi Cola in 1898 after the word dyspepsia, a condition of impaired digestion. His invention became so popular that by 1902 he had to create the Pepsi Cola company to keep up with the demand. Amazingly, the company went bankrupt 29 years later, but Charles Guth bought the business and transformed it into one of the largest and most successful companies in history, today with an annual revenue of $62 billion and total assets worth over $74 billion. North Carolina's capital city is probably not one you've heard of, Raleigh. Raleigh is an early example in the United States of a planned city. Following the American Revolutionary War, when the US gained independence, this was chosen as the site of the state capital in 1788. The city was originally laid out in a grid pattern with the North Carolina state capital in Union Square at the center. During the United States Civil War, the city was spared from any significant battle, but it fell to the Union only in the closing days of the war. Today, Raleigh is one of America's fastest growing cities, thanks to it being a major scientific and technological hub, which of course attracts a large influx of population. During the Prohibition, the citizens of Wilkes County made the name for their home as the moonshine capital of the world by producing illegal booze and selling it widely, and the repeal of Prohibition in 1933 didn't stop them. To distribute their goods, distillers often had to outrun local and federal police. Since this often involved high-speed car chases, the distillers had to modify their vehicles, and, just like that, the county became one of the birthplaces of the sport of stock car racing. It was this sport that eventually turned into the now famous NASCAR, and the first track, the North Wilkesboro Speedway, held its inaugural race in 1947. And that was it. These were 7 facts about North Carolina. I hope you enjoyed the video and will leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment downstairs, and do check me out on Facebook and Twitter. If you wanna help this channel out even more, there's a Patreon page that you can visit where you can become a patron. I hope to see you next time. Bye.